What does moderate carb actually mean? Hi, I'm Mary. I'm a Master Certified Primal Health Coach. In my last video, I talked about higher carbohydrate eating, but I really never defined what I meant by higher carbs, and it kind of varies depending on person to person. But in my coaching, I generally consider anything above 150 grams of carbs a day to be high carb. So today we're going to move into what I consider the moderate carb range, which is like 50 carbs to 150 grams of carbs a day. One mistake that I often see people making is confusing a way of eating with a carbohydrate level, because we just really don't talk about it. So Mediterranean, Paleo, and Primal describe ways of eating, but not necessarily the carb levels. The amount of carbs that you eat depends on the food you choose within those approaches. So for example, someone following a Mediterranean style way of eating who regularly eats bread, pasta, beans, potatoes, and fruit can very easily consume more than 150 grams of carbs a day. But someone else following that same approach who focuses more on fish, olive oil, vegetables, and smaller portions of grains could eat much less. Both are still following the same Mediterranean way of eating, they're just choosing different food. And the same applies to Paleo and Primal. In fact, Mark Sisson's Primal Blueprint generally recommends keeping carbs at 150 grams or less. But where you fall within that range depends on your goals, your activity level, and the food you choose. So don't get too attached to the labels, but instead ask yourself, how many carbs do I actually want to eat each day? Because two people can describe their way of eating in the same way and still consume completely different amounts of carbohydrates. So tell me your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching and being here.